Someone is in denial that they can move on from this connection with you. And what else do we need to know about this person in denial? This person wants you bad. They're very lustful over you. Okay, so tattoos and reputation. This could be someone with tattoos, or you're someone with tattoos, and someone is worried about their reputation here. So I'm channeling that someone has their eye on you. That orb is confirmation. You are someone who is very mysterious. And I'm getting that this person wants to figure you out, but this person has a very hard time reading your energy. And it's as if since this person met you, it's like they need to know more. And I feel like you've really captivated this person's interest.
No offense, but it sounds like some and commie gobbledygook.
Is it just me, or did I hear some cards fall on the table? Is that normal for this kind of thing? Like, I feel like if you're going to grift someone out of their money by trying to predict their future with a deck of cards, you should at least know how to shuffle them. I mean, it seems like the bare minimum. We expect nothing less from our casino dealers, as well as that douchemonger who always steals the deal whenever we play euchre over at Skeeter's house. Yeah, Benny, I'm talking about you, you prick. So I always just figured that if you're going to do anything that requires the shuffling of cards, you should probably be able to execute the most basic of shuffles if you're going to even be remotely taken seriously. Woman, you have zero excuse to not know how to shuffle cards. Now, with as many step-by-step tutorials there are on the internet, there's bound to be one that can match your skill level. I mean, maybe. You're not even using tarot cards, so learning how to shuffle properly is too big of a leap for you.
You light their fire, you float their boat, and it's as if they feel like they resonate with you a lot. And this person is so intrigued by you because you do not reveal a lot about yourself. You're the type of person, you don't just allow anyone in your energy. You don't allow just anyone around you. It's very hard to get close with you. You're very particular on who you allow to get to know you, the real you. So right away, what I'm getting, this connection could have came in maybe at a time of heartbreak, or maybe a setback, maybe even after a time of solitude. And I feel for a lot of you, this could have taken place within the last 12 months.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I believe it was Socrates who was arguing with a drunken Napoleon over the virtues of tipping when he said, "Never trust a fortune teller who has coke nails for all 10 fingers. Oh wait, no, I'm not talking about the philosopher and the emperor. No, these are just two guys who insist on being called that, even though they never graduated high school. But Napoleon and Socrates are able to dish out life advice way better than this broad. I mean, these were the guys who coined the term, if it's yellow, let it mellow, but if it's green, check your spleen. It wasn't medical advice. In fact, I really don't know what it was. I think it was either about antifreeze or canned vegetables. It really depends on how drunk you are and who you ask, but that's not really the point. I mean, those guys could really capture an audience's attention with pure gibberish, and this woman's trying to do the same thing. The only problem is that I am 90% convinced that she actually believes what she's talking about, and that's kind of terrifying.
I'm getting that a lot of you watching are very intuitive, you're very psychic, but I'm also getting there's this very frustrated energy that's coming through right now. This is giving very strong Aries energy, Scorpio energy, Taurus energy, a lot of water sign energy as well.
Like, people talking, they say, huh? What are you talking about?
Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. Somewhere in your guys' birth charts, sun, moon, or rising. Now, what I am also channeling about this individual is that there is family or friends that's trying to block this connection off. For some of you, it feels like someone's trying to block off this connection of someone pursuing you. Regardless of the gossip situation, I'm seeing that this person is coming to a very big realization.
And you get a reaction from people who say, huh? What are you talking about?
Did I just hear this broad correctly? Cancer energy? What in the hell is cancer energy? Woman, I don't even think you know what you're talking about. Okay, I know you don't know what you're talking about, because if you did, you wouldn't be telling women to receive any form of cancer energy. Now, I don't expect you to know this. You lazily read tarot cards and then try to grift people on the internet. You're a spiritualistic form of cancer that just consumes the gullibility of your fellow brood of brain-dead idiots. And the only message that you're broadcasting is that modern women have zero control over their lives and should listen to you because you read a pamphlet and can barely shuffle a deck of novelty-sized cards. All you do is perpetuate the myth that nothing is ever a woman's fault. If it's not your hormones, it's the patriarchy. If it's not the patriarchy, it's because of your trauma. And if it's not because of your trauma, it's the position of the stars when your mother pooped you out into the world. And I don't need a stupid deck of cards to predict that.
You blew it.
Fish.
I was going on a guy and he said that he liked the way my Invisalign felt on his eggplant. I can't speak, but I just got Invisalign the other day and I had my very first railing post Invisalign.
That's why I praise the Lord for prostitutes.
And first of all, we did a bit of like before play, if you know what I mean. And I'm still very much getting used to having this in my mouth. I obviously have a little bit of a lisp, which is doing my head in, and I've got these bumps on my teeth or whatever. But overall, like, it does make my teeth smoother, so I can understand what he means. But he just said, like,
I quit. I quit. I quit.
You know what? I don't know what's more depressing. The idea that this woman thinks she's so important that she needs to describe her bedroom antics to a willing audience, or the idea that there's an audience who wants to know this stuff, or the fact that we live in a society where we've grown so comfortable with the idea that online avenue strollers feel comfortable with telling people these stories. I remember a long time ago where if you openly talked about this stuff, it was kinda, sorta, technically, definitely frowned upon. Shame was a wonderful thing. It kept everybody in line. It didn't stop people from doing stupid things, but it did keep them from talking about it ad nauseum, which was the next best thing. The internet has made people way too comfortable with sharing this kind of crap, and there will always be a captivated audience for this kind of stuff as well. And I don't know what could be more depressing than that.
because, like, obviously it's added a bit of, like, something to my teeth. It was, like, he could feel it on his eggplant, and he really liked it. I was, like, scared because, like, I always try and not get my teeth in there, obviously. But having this been the first time with my Invisalign, it was a little bit difficult, but he actually really enjoyed it. So it ended up being for the best. But who would have thought?
You're cool. I'm out.
No, you know what? I figured it out. You know what's really depressing? The fact that this woman can actually go into explicit detail about her sexual exploits on TikTok and get celebrated for it. But when guys like us call out these chicks' stupidity, their double standards, and their unpleasant behaviors, that is considered hate speech and will get blocked on TikTok. I'm not joking. If you go to TikTok and type in the subject of men going their own way, TikTok has it blocked. And I kid you not, this video that you're watching was the first thing that hit my feed when I logged on to TikTok's website to gather footage for today's episode. And to make things worse, I'm fairly certain your old pal Locke the Bounty Hunter is in the YouTube doghouse once again, so double check to make sure that you're still subscribed and make sure that notification bell is rung as well. You know what, when it comes to the comments section, just go nuts. Let's make a game out of it. Write up something incredibly insane. I don't care what it is, the crazier the better, but also make sure it's something that won't get flagged or deleted by the YouTube comment police. Just throw it all against the wall and see what sticks, gentlemen and gents. Let's give the YouTube schmucks a run for their money. What do you say?
Min kassa är surkassa. Betcom Shivu. Let the party begin!
I think I need to rewatch the movie Juno because I watched it as a teenager and I liked the movie, don't get me wrong, there's no critiques, but the movie's about teen pregnancy. That's my nightmare situation. And again, it's aesthetically pleasing, it's a nice cute movie, but I don't understand why 10 years later, however long it's been, everyone's making edits of this movie. Like, everyone's obsessing over it. Do I need to rewatch it? Am I missing something? Am I misremembering the movie itself? Like, she just gets pregnant and I just feel bad for her the entire time.
I can see behind your shirt!
Yeah, I've never seen Juno, and I don't intend to, but that's only because whenever I hear Michael Cera's voice, all I want to do is jump through a window and run barefoot to Alaska over a bed of hot coals and broken glass. But instead of doing that, I would rather just watch Stone Cold, one of the best movies around. This movie's got it all. Guns, bikers with guns, and one of the greatest things to ever be committed to film. You guessed it, a gloriously mulleted Brian Bosworth in a trench coat that can only be described as gloriously early 90s. Just drink it in, gentlemen and gents. It's sites like this that practically made movies back in the day. And when you got guys like Lance Henriksen, who is good in like 99% of everything he does, then you know you're in for something special. And for the record, that remaining 1% was that time he reprised his role as Bishop in the Aliens Colonial Marines video game. But the less we talk about that, the better. So don't bother with that game. Bother with Stone Cold. It's very possible that you might not find yourself being undisappointed with such a glorious piece of cinema.
One of my biggest pieces of dating advice is to never go for somebody that you have no initial physical or sexual attraction to. I hate to say it, but this is one thing that I think men excel at, because guys will never go for a girl that they're not attracted to. Yeah, men will go home with girls at a bar that they're, not really interested in or attracted to, but it's just to get some. They're not actually pursuing her. But at least if something doesn't work out for a guy in his favor with a girl, it's never normally a girl that he's not attracted to. Whereas girls, on the other hand, we sit there crying about these straight up losers that we had to take weeks to convince ourselves that he was even attractive. Us girls literally refuse to show the guy that we're talking to's Instagram to our friends because we're so embarrassed that we like him. It's just funny to me because I'm like, we actually get played by such losers, and we are never even the ones initially attracted or interested in or pursuing them, but yet we are the ones getting played by them.
That doesn't make sense.
Hey sister, if you're going to try and be mean to Chad, then you're gonna have to try a little bit harder than not at all. You're trying to make us believe that you allowed the bottom 95% of men, the very same ones that you deem to be invisible scum creepers, were somehow able to trick you into liking them? Yeah, that makes about as much sense as a modern woman being able to operate a mailbox without some type of catastrophic screw-up. That's because you won't even talk to any man that you don't find physically attractive. Your standards will allow for nothing less. And any man that you find unattractive is either toxic, creepy, or some kind of a hateful incel. Calling this man unattractive is just your way of trying to get the last laugh by saying that he was never all that hot in the first place, and that's like calling a master chess player stupid because he beat you in 3 moves. But let's be honest here, if you make it 3 moves before getting checkmated in chess, that means you've been practicing.
And I'm not trying to be shallow. I'm not saying like you give a guy one look and like whatever you think of him for that first time you're seeing him is like how much you're attracted to him. But if you're willing to go on a date with a guy after like 3 to 4 dates with him, really getting to know his personality, like if you're not a lot more attracted to him or a lot more interested in him, it's like, why are you even staying with him? I was thinking about it the other day and I was like, even all the guys that I was just like hooking up with in college, not a single one of them I was really attracted to. I just like their personality, and most of them were just really nice and like pursuing me a lot at first, so I gave them a chance, but like I was never interested in any of them or attracted to any of them. Like I can name maybe 3 guys that like I genuinely was like pretty attracted to and like wanted to talk to them. It wasn't like a whole like, oh, they were just being so nice to me, I gave him a chance. It's like, no, like he showed interest in me and I was like excited because I was really attracted to him and I liked his personality.
Show a little respect. So how many men have you slept with?
I'm feeling inexplicably generous right now, ladies, so allow me to give you a free piece of advice. If you're going to try and blatantly lie about how you can't get Chad to commit to you, you really shouldn't be using your college body count as an example. Now, I find it incredibly difficult to believe that when you were in college, you were just giving it up to any average guy who gave you attention. That would mean allowing simps to see you in less than pants, and we all know that has never and will never happen. You've already spilled the beans, woman. We get it. You hooked up with Jagnum P.I., Tyrone Deanna Jones, Pookie Hauser MD, and Ray McQueen, thinking that would be enough to lock them down since you have no personality to speak of. And when it wasn't, you tried to gain the upper hand by saying that he was never attractive and had no personality. That's about on par with the maturity of a modern woman, but what you're forgetting is that these dudes already forgot who you were when they kicked you out of the frat house the next morning. Meanwhile, they are living rent-free in your head over a decade later. Let that sink in for a second, sister. It shouldn't take that long. You're kind of shallow already. Like,
I'd much rather be crying about a boy that I really liked and was really attracted to and just like wasn't a piece of shit than crying about some loser that somehow made me fall in love with him even though I have no sexual or physical attraction to.
Liar, liar, liar.
I don't want to sound shallow in saying this, but seriously, like, stop giving ugly guys a chance. 9 times out of 10, that guy is just trying to hit. Like, he's gonna be so overly nice to you so that you even just like consider giving him a chance, and then as soon as you give him what he wants, he's not gonna stay with you. I hate to hype the men up, but seriously, like, think like a man. Like, is a guy ever gonna ask a girl on a date that he thinks is unattractive? Hell no. Like, guys will do a lot to sleep with you, like I'm saying, but like, a guy is really never gonna pursue a girl that he's not attracted to. So why should we? You don't owe anybody anything. Why should you feel the need to give the ugly guy a chance just because he's nice? Because he probably isn't.
Nobody cares what you think.
I'm not gonna lie, gentlemen and gents, I would actually love to hear the story about how a man this woman did not find physically or intellectually attractive was able to somehow make her fall in love with him. I seriously want to hear the details about that. Considering that you clearly get more attention from men than you actually deserve, how is it that your so-called ugly guy was able to make you swoon? I'm assuming he wasn't funny because you're too focused on him being funny looking, and apparently his personality wasn't up to par either. But that didn't stop you from being quote-unquote forced to fall in love with him. So what gives? Well, there's no explanation needed. We already know the truth. You can't stand the idea of a handsome man not wanting you. So in a vain attempt to try and save face, you're gonna try and say that you were embarrassed to be around him because he was uglier than a bridge troll who somehow broke your heart. But if there is anything that you're saying that we as men should take to heart, it's this. I absolutely agree with you, sweetheart. There is no chance in hell that any self-respecting man should ever waste his time on such an ugly creature such as yourself. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been checking on their subs and making sure that everything is copacetic. I hate having to ask you guys to do this, but let's face it. YouTube is a tyrannical dictatorship, but they're also the only game in town. So thank you so much for staying on top of this, guys. Thank you for leaving the comments and sharing this video and helping me give it a good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm, because you guys are some of the best damn subs in the known universe, and I don't say that for just anybody. So thank you once again for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.